When and how did you meet your spouse?
How did I meet who?
Your wife.
Well,
Watch it be really cute.
that's a big long story.
Go for it.
We got time.
I want to know.
Well, I'll get there as soon as I get my breath. And I'm a little short of wind right now. But my wife had a cousin, and she was dating a friend of mine. And she didn't want to go out alone. She wanted her cousin to come with her. And so she talked to her boyfriend into bringing her down, picking up Bernice and bringing him down to my place. Because the boy that she was dating was my friend, and her cousin, of course, was her closest friend. So when they came down, she didn't want to, she really didn't want to go on a blind date. And so she told me she'd sooner not. And they pleaded with her, and so she said okay, she would. So she rode down with them. They came down to my place and told me that they had a date for me if I would come and go out with them. And I told them, well, I wasn't interested in. And they begged me because she says, well, we can't go out on a date with two women. We've got to have another man with us. So I agreed to go with them. And so we did. And when I was younger, they gave me a nickname. Of course, my name's Blackburn, so they called me Blackie. And this cousin of my Bernice's, his boyfriend was very, she dated my best boyfriend, but she wasn't with him that night. But he had given me the name of Blackie, and all in their group would call me Blackie. And he would tell Bernice when he'd date her, he'd tell her some of the wildest stories he ever dreamed of, because he didn't have enough courage to do anything himself, so he picked me and my boyfriend as his models, and he made up the stories. And so they were quite, some quite dangerous in some different ways. But she was scared to death of that name of Blackie. We'd never met before. But I decided I'd go with him, so we got in the car, driving along, and my friend in the front seat turned around and says, Blackie, he says, what are we going to do tonight, or something like that. And Bernice about jumped out of the car, and she says, do you know a person named Keith Robinson? And I said, yeah, he's my best friend. And then she did want to get out of the car. Before the night, she changed her mind. And we started dating at that time. And when I got done telling her that all those stories were fabrications that her boyfriend was making up, had been making up, was all fabrications, and she decided that she could make something out of me, so she asked me to marry her, and we did. I worked in a potato chip factory along with this here same boyfriend I was talking about, and her and her cousin would come down to the potato chip factory all the time because they liked to eat those hot potato chips. And so one time they came down, and my boyfriend and her cousin says, we're going to get married tomorrow up in Heber, Utah. And why don't you and Phil come along with us and make it a foursome? And I've always felt that I got trapped right there, because Bernice said, I think that's a good idea. And so we went up and we got married. And she eloped because she didn't tell her mother she was going to get married, and she was only 17 years old. And my mother, I was 19 years old. I just turned 19, and I was of legal age. I could get married. My mother did know where I was going, so she eloped and I didn't.
That's great.
And there's a funny way it turned out. But now we've been married for 74 years. No, 76 years, 76. Let's see. We was married in 1938. And so that would be, yeah, that'd be 6 years. 76 years. On July the 22nd, we'll be married 76 years.
Wow.